Insights with Terri Ep.102, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.102. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.102. Thank you for joining me to examine the week of December the 19th through the 25th. Wow, right to the 25th, that's Christmas. I hope all of you have a really good Christmas and enjoy family and friends. Just the warmth of just being together, just after these few years of having to do everything by phone or video or just non-existent. It sure does put a perspective on things for us. So maybe that's what we needed, is the great reset, which is kind of what was happening. We are still in a Sagittarius sun sign until the 22nd of this week. Sagittarius, as I said in my earlier podcast, is a very positive energy field. So it's one that allows us the optimism of looking forward and just really looking towards the light, looking towards the things that are happy. And this will work because, not that this will fail because. So we always look at the bright side with that Sagittarius energy, or at least it gives us the tools to do so. And then on the 22nd, it's going to move into Capricorn. Capricorn's a little different energy in that respect. That's going to offer us the opportunity to look at and reflect on how could we have done it better. Now, what we have to guard against here is perfectionism. Having an opportunity to look at something, how could we do it better, that just means to look at things pragmatically and honestly, value how it was done, and what do you see that it was done well, and then can we move towards improving it? So it's really with an eye to improvement. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit more later. And then Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that's in Capricorn as well. Now here's a big warning, kids. That's going to go retrograde on the 29th. And everybody that knows Mercury retrograde is usually where and when mistakes happen. Because our mind, it's the planet of our mind, it's the planet of processing, it's the planet of how we think, how we process, how fast do we process, and it's the planet of travel. When it goes retrograde like this, it can offer us some mistakes. It can offer us recognizing that we're on automatic and we just made a mistake, that we are not paying attention, that we're not in the moment. So it offers us that opportunity to look at it and say, how can I improve this? Which is what we were talking about a minute ago. But while it's offering us that opportunity, what's happening is that we make a mistake. So this is where the big driving accidents happen, or those train wrecks. So yeah, this is the month of travel, right? When it's Christmas. So please, 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 if you can, when you're driving, don't get lost in an audiobook. Stay in the present. Be aware that other people are more likely to make mistakes too, not just you. And so if we're all on guard and we're all trying to protect each other, there may be less opportunity to hurt each other inadvertently. So mistakes happen, problems happen, things just don't go as smooth as we would like them to do. So if you've got an appointment, leave early so you're not stressed and distracted. If you have appointments, call ahead and make sure that you had the same conversation. Be as proactive as you can during this time. It usually goes on for about 3 weeks. We can feel it sometimes a week ahead of time. So now's the week. This is the week that we'd start to feel it because it starts to go retrograde on the 29th. And Venus, the planet of love and beauty, what we're attracted to, is also in Capricorn. That allowing us to look at things, how we can do them better, not falling into the trap of perfectionism. And Mars, the planet of our drive, is in Gemini. Gemini is that curious, communicative type of energy field. That's our passion, the passion to communicate, but it's going retrograde. So maybe we'll just want to withdraw a bit. Maybe we don't need to talk as much as we think we do. Maybe we just need to be still in our minds and our hearts and our mouth for a little bit. Just being still and find the calmness of quiet. Now, with that Capricorn energy all together, I would like to involve some other writers that have written some things down that apply beautifully to this Capricorn energy right now. And I will give the due praise to who and where it comes from. But most of the time with some of the way the planets are, it offers us circumstances to learn, to grow. We look at them as problems and difficulties and being beat up. And it feels that way, certainly, I'm sure, because I'm a human too. But that wasn't the point of it. The point is to learn and to grow. And we also have Uranus, the planet of expansion, the planet of solving things in a new and creative way. That's been going retrograde for a long time, and that's part of some of the issues that we are experiencing, but also some of the growths that take place with, let's say China in that desert where they paid the people to get together and try to grow green on it, and it changed the weather patterns of the floods. I can't remember the name of the city, but I was watching a documentary last night, and in 15 to 20 years, it was unbelievable the difference it made when they didn't have the flocks of sheep grazing every last molecule of green, and people were planting trees and planting this, and they tiered it. Oh my God, it was just beautiful, and it stopped the floods. So a different way of thinking when we asked the people to change their way of doing things for generations, and they had to embrace that, and then the government paid them to do it. So most of the time, we're being sucked into a notorious cocktail. We're trying to predict and control everything that will happen. I see that in government. I see it in politics. I see it in our own lives. And we're trying to limit even our own nature when we're supposed to be embracing it or looking at how can I change this in a positive way. The author, Brené Brown, he said, let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are. That's huge, because I see so many people that picture themselves a certain way, and if they could let go of that and see who they really are and then improve or perfect or shape or cultivate that. Perfectionism is a self-destructive and addictive belief system that fuels this primary thought. If I look perfect and I do everything perfectly, I can avoid or minimize the painful feelings of shame and judgment and blame. That's a statement from Brené Brown. And it deserves listening to, because we try so hard to make everything look perfect on the outside. The lawn has to be perfect. The porch has to be swept. Everything has to be dusted. Everything has to be in its right place. And anything less than that feels wrong, feels that we failed, feels that we're not living up to something. So then we're constantly focused on doing everything so perfectly and trying to control, even minimize our own feelings, that we're preventing ourselves from experiencing all those possibilities that live inside of us, and that life, what it holds for us, and what we can experience if we just let go. It's amazing. And if you think about it, what's perfect anyway? Is it just getting 10 out of 10 in what we've been taught that life is? I didn't realize it until I was doing a online training course, and it doesn't matter. What I'm doing doesn't matter, but I guess it matters to me. And on one of the quizzes, I got 1 out of 3. I've been getting 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3. The confetti goes all over the screen. And I must have done that test 5 times, 15 different ways. I could not get it past 1 out of 3. And it wrecked my day. And I thought, this is stupid. It doesn't matter. Take what you've learned from it and move on. Don't get stuck in this stupid thing. Yet, even now, a week later, I've done others perfectly. I just can't let that one go. So then I had to look at, why would we limit ourselves only to what we've seen so far in life? Like what we've seen here in this life, we're limiting because we're not allowing for change many times. And is there no chance that something wonderful and exciting exists out there if we don't move forward, if I don't let that stupid little test go and just go to the next one? And we're just waiting for something perfect to arrive. And oftentimes the more fun parties were the ones that just happened impromptu. And what about what we don't even know yet? And the things that we haven't even discovered yet around us and in ourselves? All of that with Uranus will allow us to discover that. And when you think about it, and when you really think it through, this perspective, uncertainty might be the perfect growth catalyst, because it throws us out of our limiting conventions and our conditioned mind, and it gives us a chance to find more in yourself. And it is scary and it is stressful, especially in the beginning, to let go of the control or the illusion or the hallucination of control. But by facing uncertainty, it allows us ourselves to grow. And we can definitely come easily and peacefully to ourselves once we realize those key elements that the universe is trying to teach us. And that's what all of this Capricorn energy is pushing at us right now, is trying to teach us to step outside of our limits, to embrace a bigger picture, to try something new, to not get locked in perfection or control, but to let it go, do the best you can, enjoy what you've done, and how can I do it better without that perfectionist type of energy field. Now, for the rest of the week, if we look at vulnerabilities in health, be so careful, all of you, of upper respiratory issues. We're very, very vulnerable this week in upper respiratory, as well as when you take our body trying to get rid of things, trying to help ourselves stay clean, you look at the alimentary organs, which is primarily right now liver, because Sagittarius is in the moon on Wednesday, which is the middle of the week. That's the 21st. So it can't get rid of the toxins and keep us as immune responsive as we should be. So you might want to help it out a little bit. Physically as well, our vulnerability can be our backbone, our joints, our knees, that are our hips, thigh bones, any parts of the sacrum. So basically, in a nutshell, joints may hurt. So watch for your inflammatory and inflammatory. Stay away from inflammatory. Embrace the anti-inflammatory. So turmeric helps with that. Just watch what foods you choose, because if you have arthritis, it might be a little bit more of a challenge for you this week, as far as trying to just feel okay. Arthritis, I know, is horrid. The number that was given to us this week is the number 1. And number 1, leader, right? On Star Trek Enterprise, number 1. He was the second in command, but he was a leader too. And it's supposed to give us courage and inspiration, which combined with where the planets are is awesome. And it's an active creativity, an active inspiration. That's awesome, because that keeps us going. It's priority. Number 1 is priority to individual success. the ability to use that initiative in a determined way to succeed, to just grab onto it. Awesome. And praise is so good during this time. So don't be afraid to praise your friends. Find what you like in them. Offer that to them. Praise yourself. What do you see good in yourself? That's something we should be looking at. So that's what we have this week. I wish you all a wonderful holiday, all of you. I hope you stay safe. I want to thank sincerely Charlie O'Brien for taking all that time and always posting us on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube. He's just been a treasure, and without him, none of this would be happening. So if you need anything technical, please get in touch. Photography, any technical, anything, get in touch with Charlie O'Brien. And if you need a reading for yourself, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at Terri, Terri.Coutts, Coutts, @gmail.com. And Charlie has archived some of the past podcasts on the website, www.terriworld.com. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And hopefully our new year is going to be just amazing. But tune in to the next podcast and we'll see what the new year brings for us. Thanks again, everybody. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coutts. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.